After the long 10 years of waiting, I'm finally free. I'm now a permanent resident in Japan. In this video, I'm going to tell you my whole experience of doing all the process application, all of the tips that I am able to give you as I did it without lawyers, saving myself around like 100,000 yen to probably like 200,000 depending on that. So if you would like to know all about that, stay tuned on this video. So for context, I came to Japan around 10 years ago. I was a student. I got the scholarship, Max scholarship. If you subscribe because of the Max scholarship, thank you for staying. So yeah, I was studying for around 4 to 5 years. So 1 year with the Japanese language and 4 years of university. Afterwards, I continued to find a job, and luckily I was able to find good job here in Japan and have been consistently working for 5 years. So in total, I actually have been living here in Japan for 10 years. And yeah, I did aim to get the permanent residency on probably my 7th year of living here, because it was just like 3 more years and I will be able to have this permanent residency. Now, if you don't know, I think what's the merit, what's the benefit of having permanent residency in Japan? I believe not just in Japan, but also outside of other country, having the permanent residency gives you freedom of movement. If you are here on the student visa, you are only allowed to technically just study. And even if you work, you cannot work over 40 hours per month because you're here to study. And you have working visa, you only can work according to what the visa is shown. So for example, I am a high skill visa, therefore I can only work within tech or translation, anything that's according to that visa. But let's say, right, you want to have the second job and you want to be a model. Now that's not going to be allowed. On certain numerous occasions, you need to have kind of like a special permission, which some people do get granted, so they are able to get a side hustle as a model. But the process is quite tough because a lot of the companies here, they don't want you to have the second job, and you need that permission from your company to get the second job. So you see what I mean? Yeah, so let's say you come and you have the visa as just a teacher, meaning you can only go to teaching position until, well, unless you get a job in other, and then you still need to change the visa. Well, but yeah, you will still need to go to the immigration officer, office, pretty much every single year or every time you have some things that you are done. And also, okay, let's move on to the next one. So that's the benefit of having the permanent residency, meaning that you are now free to do whatever job you want, even if you want a second job, third job, that's free. Yeah, but still, I think some companies still will require to kind of declare. However, even if you don't declare, you won't be deported by the immigration officer anymore, as long as you don't do anything criminal. Again, permanent residency, it doesn't mean permanent. It's just that to deport you, they will need a better reasoning. It's no longer just like, oh, you are not working, so you are, go back to your home country. Also, another benefit is, I think I should have said this in the beginning, it will be so easy for me and permanent residents to apply for a loan, especially house loan. Now, house loan in Japan, I mean to buy a house, you can technically, if you are rich, you can buy it just in cash, that's no worry, but I'm not rich. So I don't need to get that bank loan. And bank loan in Japan, they have a very low interest rate. I think around like 0.5 or 0.8. And in order to qualify for that, the bank will have a risk assessment. And if you are not a permanent resident, your risk is technically higher. No matter, even if you earn more than permanent residents, still they won't really give you the loan because they are not sure whether you will still be in Japan or not. So that's kind of funny. So let's say that you are non-PR, so you have a working visa and you earn probably like $200,000 in a year versus a permanent resident who just earn $100,000 a year. Which one do you think that the bank will grant the loan to? Permanent residents, because they are sure you are going to be here long term and you will not just run away. That's another one. Other thing, well, you are also able to create your own company. Yes, so you can be a freelance, you can build your own company, and yeah, you don't need to, switch visa to business visa or startup visa. If you're a PR, you can do whatever you want. And of course, it's kind of related to the bank loan, but then the credit card loan, like the credit card application, will also be much easier if you are a PR. There's a lot of stories where foreigners in Japan, even though they earn a lot and they have a Japanese spouse, they were not granted credit card, which is kind of true. So they have to stick with debit card or credit card from your home country. But if you're already permanent residents, they treat you almost the same as a Japanese national. Hence, as you can see, if you're a permanent resident, you basically get mostly the same treatment as a Japanese national, except for the passport and the voting right. So that's it. Now let's go. Okay, if you are still here and you want to know about the application and you already know about the benefits there, so I applied using the 10-year route. There's two routes usually people use to apply. One is the application using the 10-year route. So if you have been living here in Japan continuously, okay, there's no break, you did not go back to your home country. Well, if it's vacation, it's okay, but you continuously live, work here in Japan for 10 years, you can apply using this route. And the other one is using the point system. Now let's see the difference. With the 10-year route, they don't really care much about, that's the longest route, right? So it's also the easiest route for them to grant you because you have shown your commitment and dedication to live here in Japan, like me. Yeah, so the documents that they want from you will be that, okay, have you been paying taxes? Have you been working? So usually if you have been here, like in my case, I was here 5 years studying and 5 years working. They need you to be at least 5 years working. And that 10 year needs to be exactly 10 years. So if you came here during the 1st of April, you can apply on the 1st of April. You cannot apply in March. That's not how it works. But you can apply on the 2nd of April. Now this is very important and I want you to take note. I would suggest you to just do the application plus 1 day after you first arrived 10 years ago because they can deny you. And if your application is like submitted and then they see that, whoops, you did not meet the 10-year requirement because you applied 1 day earlier, they will deny you. And if you are denied once, you cannot go back the 2nd day and reapply. You have to wait for another 3 to 6 months, if I remember. Yeah, so be careful. The next thing is, well, I think when it comes to 10-year, as long as you provide all of the documents, it's actually like easy, But if you're in a point system, now that gets a little bit tricky because you will have to be able to calculate whether you qualify for the point system or not. Now, I will not be talking about point system in details because I do not go to that route. So yeah, but it's kind of like trickier unless you earn a very good amount of money, then go for the route and ask the lawyer to do it for you. But if you're like me, you're not that rich yet, you want to do all the things by your own, well, go for the 10-year route. Yeah. And what's another thing that I could talk about the 10-year route? Okay, how long did it take? So now this is very diverse. I think on the official website it says that it will take around 6 to 1 year, roughly. However, depending on your municipality where you apply, for example, I live in the Kanagawa area, so I go to the one that is in Kanagawa. If you live in Tokyo area, you need to go to the Shinagawa, the Tokyo Metropolitan. If you live in Chiba, you need to apply through the Chiba immigration. Now, each immigration process is very different, and the longest one is Tokyo, which is currently taking 1.5 to 2 years. Yes. Whereas in my case, I got it within 6 months, which is the minimum processing time. 6 to 1 year. That's what it says in the, the official website. Therefore, I suggest that if you are already on your 10-year mark, move out from Tokyo momentarily. Go to Saitama, Chiba, or even Kanagawa. Chiba is also very dangerous, so don't go. I think Saitama, Chiba, and Musashino, outside of that, like Tachikawa one, it's usually much faster compared to Tokyo. That's what I would recommend as your senpai. Also, if you are not sure, let's say that you want to prepare this without a lawyer. If you want to use lawyer, fine. You will need to prepare at least 100 to probably 150,000 yen. It can go even further depending on the level of service you want. That's the number I was quoted this April, by the way. But if you want to do this by your own, well, it's doable. It's just that it's a lot of hassle because you need to prepare the documents from all of the municipalities that you have lived in, and you need to also check whether it fits the checklist or not. But if you don't have a lawyer to consult to, then how do you know, right? Well, there are two choices. First, if you go to the immigration by yourself, that means you kind of need to line up and you need to take a day off. So yeah, that's one of it. The second one is there's actually a free support like service done by the government. So this is to support foreigners in Japan, and they will have the real immigration officer that will check this for you. So I did collect these documents maybe like 3 months beforehand, and I have it checked there. That's where I could consult, okay, like, is this good? Do you think I need to provide anything else? And you can also consult if you are going to the point route and you don't want to use lawyer fee at all. Having a lawyer itself is actually not a bad thing if you are a very busy person and your time actually costs more than the lawyer itself, because the lawyer will be able to go to this municipality and get all of these documents on behalf of you, because you will be signing the attorney rights, and they will ensure that all of your documents are actually in perfect order. And if you're not good with administration stuff, then by all means go to have the lawyer, because they will be the one that submit it and also collect the card for you. So that's actually, if I have the money, I would just like, here you go, do it for me. That's it. So yeah, it's almost 15 minutes. I hope that this video will give you a little bit of context, and if you have any questions, please leave it down to the comments. I will try my best to reply it, and if there's a lot of frequently asked questions, I will make another video of it. So yeah, for anyone who is in the journey, I hope that everything goes well with your application and you will be able to receive the freedom that you've always wanted to. And I did it by myself. Bye!